What is up? Stacy, it's me. Wait, it sounded like I was talking to somebody named Stacy. I am Stacy, as you may or may not already know. Welcome to On Her Mind, the podcast where it is always lit. I'm just kidding. That's not at all what I wanted to say. I have my two puppies here with me. I got little Tiki and little Bella. Bella's laying so comfortably in her bed. Tiki's laying so comfortably in her bed. And I'm just sitting here starting this podcast. Yeah, so I released the first episode of this podcast yesterday, and through this app, through Anchor, which is where I record my podcasts, there hasn't really been a great outcome of it. It's only been 2 other people that have watched or heard it on here, and that I have seen. So shout out to Jess, my best friend. You guys already know she's a diehard supporter, fan, whatever she wants to call herself. She likes to call herself a fan. But she's my best friend, of course. I would hope that she's a fan of what I do. But yeah, and Paris, shout out to you. I seen that you liked my podcast, and it just made me happy because I know that's only 2 people right now, and it just reminds me that we all have to start somewhere, you know what I mean? On YouTube, however, 64 views so far. Well, I have to say views because it's a video format, but it's the audio. I put it on there as well because that is where most would probably go to watch it, because Anchor is still not something that I feel like a lot of people, or at least any of my audience, would go and watch. I think it's definitely a little bit more, there's a lot of users on it. So many people love it. I love it. Excuse me, but I don't think that a lot of people have really, gravitated towards it. I think a lot more that do listen to podcasts are also on like Spotify. They listen there, or Apple Podcasts and stuff like that. But I'm trying to get my podcast to head that way, to be distributed everywhere. So it's a process, but I wanted to start somewhere, and I wanted to release this right away. Like, I didn't want to wait anymore. I have been waiting way too long already, but I'm happy that I did it. I'm a little bummed out because I'm like, I don't know, I felt like it would have been a little bit more, but it just helps me understand that I just need to keep going, you know what I mean? Like, anytime that I really answer a question to anybody that has a question, or wow, that was really silly. Every time I answer a question to anybody who has a question, I meant to say it for anybody who ever asks for my advice with something, and what I've learned through my own journey, and what I've taught myself, or what I've allowed myself to really understand, and what I've been working on myself a lot with is reminding myself that everybody has started from zero. Everybody who now has something that they have worked for started at zero. And that's something that I really have been kind of telling myself every single time, every day. Like I've mentioned before, and I realized this because I was listening over my podcasts again just to see where to get small excerpts out to put on my Instagram and all that. But I was listening to see, what was I saying? This happens a lot. Right. I mentioned this a lot, but I have had this I don't even know how to explain it. I've had the times where things have been at a high, and through those times I've I had to start somewhere to get there, right? So I'm working towards having that high again. And yes, it's discouraging when, like, and it could be whatever it is that, like, let's say that you are trying to, create something. I don't know, like you're going to school or something, and you really want to, or you're doing art. I don't know why I always gravitate to art, but like you're creating this masterpiece, but you're just like, you're so proud of something that you made because it was like, it was a challenge for you essentially, or you just put a lot of hours into it, a lot of work into it, and then you share it with people, and it's like not the outcome that you thought, that like everybody wasn't as excited as you were, and And it's okay. I mean, it sucks. Like, trust me, yeah. It does suck, and it is a little discouraging, and it can make you sad. I was just going through that today when I looked at my, how the podcast did on this specific platform. But it's also so new. It's barely the first one. Like, I can't, unless I have a huge following and a huge audience where I push it towards here, then of course I should be expecting an even bigger a bigger outcome. But the thing is that I have to remember that I should start to do a lot of things without having any expectations, you know what I mean? And that doesn't mean like bad expectations or like expectations for the wrong thing, but like if you don't expect anything out of something, then you won't be let down pretty much, you know what I mean? Like see, at least I had two people beside myself to listen to that specific podcast. Two people who always show me support, which ties into what I was talking about before. But like, it just reminds me, like, everybody starts from zero. All of the famous people out there, they start from zero. They started at 0 followers, and then their first follower, and then their second follower. Everybody who's created music or has ever landed a giant role in the movies or in a movie, they all had to go through the audition process, for the people the actors or actresses. Like, then they they started with 0 movies or any type of acting experience under their belt, and they had to work towards it. And the same thing for, any singers out there. They posted one, maybe, I don't know if it was way back then, I don't know, but whoever has ever had any kind of traction with their music or anything, like, they posted a video once and maybe only their friends liked it, or maybe they didn't have anybody who liked it, and then one day they had a kabajillion after continuously putting out work and hard work. And the reason why I'm even talking about this is because, one, I just want to let it off my chest. Like, I just want to talk about it. I just want to say it out loud. And two, because I'm documenting my journey through where I want to get to in life, and the obstacles and the struggles, and how I have my thought process, and what I may do to change that up, or the things that I've tried and haven't worked for me, or things that I've tried and have worked for me. And so I really want to share this along the way, because one day I am going to be something, and then I want to be able to go back and be like, well, this is how I did it. This is how hard it was. And now how great it is, you know what I mean? And the whole entire process and the whole entire journey is, I want you guys to see how far I've come. And of course, it doesn't necessarily take somebody to show every step of the way in order to see how far somebody has come, you know what I mean? But it's cool to see. I mean, I would have loved to see my favorite artists or whatever start from day one, and the things that they did to get to where they are right now, you know what I mean? To having absolutely nobody listening to them, to 5, to 10, to 20, to 100, to 1,000, to 50,000 people listening to them, and what they did behind the scenes every single day. You know what I mean? That would have been amazing. Of course, not everybody can pull that off. Not everybody has the desire to do that. Not everybody has, like, even the time to do that, because they just, you know what I mean? That's just not in their cards for them. Like, they don't really want to do that. But I would have loved, being an outsider, being the consumer of whatever it could be, to see how they got there, to see all the struggles that they went through and how they overcame things, and their thought process, and how they were feeling at certain times, and all this, the struggles, the challenges, the obstacles, and how they grew through it, and any kind of mentorship that they received, or if they ever wrote their feelings down. Like, I love to see that stuff, because it's so cool to see something in the making, you know what I mean? And so that's really cool that I just said that, because now it reminds me of this. Like, this is me in the making. This is my future in the making, you know what I mean? And I think that's awesome. Like, one day I would love to, and I think I've talked about this already, but one day I want to be able to go to a city and be like, hey guys, meet me at this park or something. Let's just hang out, and have a handful at least show up, and then us just enjoy the time. You know what I mean? Or to have a seminar somewhere. Well, not necessarily a seminar, but I just can't think of the name. But like, go somewhere and speak about issues, or speak about the things that I'm passionate about, or just like I'm talking right now. Like if somebody asks me a question, and just answer advice, and how the motivational speakers do, like that kind of stuff. Like I would love to do that. I would love to say, hey guys, guess what? I'm gonna go on I'm gonna travel, because you guys already know I don't want to say on a tour, because I feel like that's for like the freaking awesome, amazing celebrities and cool people and everybody who has a giant, enormous, that's the third time I use it in these podcasts, audience. But I would love to be like in the future, like, hey, everyone that likes my stuff or watches me, or, and just what I mean. Like, I don't know why I get so technical with things, but like just to post and say, I'm going to be in this city, this city, and this city, and this city, and this city, and this one. And, if you want to roll through, come through, and, we'll have a little Q&A session in person where we can just talk and, roll on through this city. And then, maybe one day there'll be 300 people, and then it will be like, it would be awesome, because we'll just hang out, maybe have some food or something, I don't know, and just talk. And we can do I'll do a little introduction and just talk about, whatever it is, a little motivational speech, maybe, here or there. And then open it up to whoever's there and say, all right, like, does anybody have any questions? And we can just talk, and we can share our feelings and all of that stuff. And, and it's just something that I really want to do, and I can't do that right now because I don't have the resources, first of all, and second of all, I know that as it is right now, I wouldn't be able to pull that many people. You know what I mean? Because I am just still so small, and everybody's just everywhere, like sporadic around the nation and even out of the nation. So I don't know. One day I know I'm definitely going to get to that point, and it would really make me happy to be able to do that right now. But I know that right now I just have to keep working at it to eventually get there. And if you follow me, then you know that the one thing that always gets to me is, and the one thing that I'm trying really hard to fix with my mentality, is that I just feel so old, and I feel like I've wasted so much time, and I also feel like I don't have a lot of time left to do what I want to do. And so it always hinders me. And I know that you listening, you're probably like, oh my gosh, like, stop saying that. Like, you're silly. You have so many years ahead. And it's like, I totally understand that, because I hear it. I hear it in my mind too. And I'm like, yes, like, I'm talking to myself, and I'm like, Stacy, what are you talking about? Like, you have so many years ahead of you. Just because, you're not in your prime teenage years or whatever, and doing what you wanted to do, and by this time you thought you would have had this and would have done that. But when I break it down, it's because I never fucking worked hard enough to the point where I know that I would have gotten there a little bit faster than I am now. But I also step back, and I'm like, well, the reason why is because this is how things had to play out, so that you could completely understand and respect the process, and really see and go through the trials and tribulations that you went through, and go through the problems and the struggles and the challenges and the obstacles, in order to grow as a person, in order to grow in all aspects of your life, to get to this point, to then now from here on out, a lot more than you did back then, that could have possibly, of course, benefited you back then, but now you have all of those weapons and the necessary armor to move forward and to do what you have to do, and just strive on through and shoot for the stars. I've always been a hard worker. That I can give myself. I have been, because like I mentioned before, that was one thing that my father instilled in me, and he always taught us to just work hard for the things that you want in life. And so that's what I have done. But I know that I have also allowed a lot of time to slip through my hands, and I've been comfortable in many times, and so because of that comfort that I felt, I didn't allow myself to, I didn't move forward, because I was just comfortable. And and then I stop and I think, and I'm like, okay, but when you really look at the big picture, across all the years that I've been on YouTube, across all of the years that I've been doing my best to just do better in life and do what others aren't doing, and just give value and just be a kind person and give back, even if it's just tiny little ways, because I don't have what I would love to offer to the world right now. You know what I mean? I will eventually. I am 100% sure I will eventually have it, and that would be freaking amazing. But right now, I only have what I have to offer, to give. And for some, that's going to be more than enough. For others, they're not going to agree, and they're going to walk out of my life, and that's fine. So we had a conversation about this already. Well, not really a conversation, but we talked about this, or I talked about it, that, why do I want to have those people around in the first place? So here I am again wondering where the heck I was going with this. But I was saying something about... Oh, right. When I look at the big picture, all of those years that I've put time into creating videos, no matter if it was 1 video a month or 5 videos a month or 20 videos a month or building relationships, all of that has really shown me that what I've been doing this entire time has only been me building a name for myself, building a legacy, building relationships as in friendships, and bonds between many people, between you and I. You and I have a bond right now. Maybe it's not a strong bond, maybe it's not, maybe it is. I don't really know. It depends whoever it is that I'm listening. But maybe I've answered your question many times. Maybe we've talked about favorite coffee, or maybe we have a little bit more of a friend thing going, because we constantly are engaging with each other. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not like, oh yeah, we hang out and stuff and we go out to, I don't know, eat or something, but like, we are more than just I'm a YouTuber, you're a viewer kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't see it that way. I have to say it in order for things to make sense, to be like, oh yeah, this is the audience that watches me, or this is a viewer, or these are viewers, but I don't see it that way. You know what I mean? It's like when I'm mentioning it, then that's how I have to say it. Or a supporter, or I don't like to use the word fan, because I say to myself, like, who am I to really be saying that? But that's my personal opinion, you know what I mean? And maybe down the road, maybe I'll be able to feel more comfortable saying that, because I'll have a bigger scale of an audience. But right now, I don't feel comfortable saying, oh yeah, I have fans, because I just don't. Like, unless it's somebody who clearly comes up to me and says, I am a fan of you, or I am a fan of your work, then okay, yeah. But I don't like to just blatantly just put the word on anyone who watches me, because then I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like, aside from it feeling uncomfortable to me, I feel like, because I'm just the average human being, you know what I mean? I'm just another one of you. Like, I'm just another human being. I don't have anything crazy to me. I don't have a superpower. I'm not a celebrity. I'm nothing. I'm just an average person. I'm just a somebody. You know what I mean? Like, wait, I don't know how I feel about saying I'm a somebody, because I want to be somebody, but I am a person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking of somebody as in, because I always think to myself, like, one day I'm gonna be somebody. I am obviously a somebody, but like, you're a somebody, they're a somebody, but like, you get what I'm saying. This is what I mean. Like, I always go too technical with things, but I do, like, my bone just popped, by the way. That was my elbow, in case you wanted to know what part of the body that was my elbow. I do want to be somebody, but like, I just feel like, I don't know where, I just feel like I have, like, what's the word, when not I guess not necessarily arrogant, because that's not exactly what I'm feeling, but I feel like I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel like somebody would look at me and be like, "Girl, who you think you is? You say you got fans?" Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like I don't have that. I'm not entitled. Like, I just don't feel that. I don't know. Anywho, you might know what I'm saying, but like I said, when I have to refer to a group of people, like if somebody were to ask me a question, then maybe I would have to use that word. And I've asked before, and I would be like, it was alive, I remember, and I said, how would you guys like to be referred to as? Because I'm thinking about you guys, or you that are listening. I'm always thinking about how you would be preferred, because I do know, like, maybe some don't like to be referred to that, and would feel a little, maybe some would feel like, I don't know how to explain it, but I think you might know what I'm talking about. But it's not to say that one day I won't use those words, you know what I mean? Because I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that no matter what I am, no matter what it holds, I know where I want to go, and hopefully that's what it does hold. You know what I mean? Because I shouldn't say hopefully. I'm gonna make it happen, and that's what it is gonna hold. But and other kinds of things, I don't know. Maybe I'm just blabbing on now, but I'm telling you, this is like good therapy for me, because I could just let my feelings out and I could just talk. Excuse me. And so I guess I got on all of this because I don't remember, honestly, but I remember starting this off with saying that I did get 2 new listens on here on my first podcast, and I did share it across Instagram. I made it into an Instagram story because I feel like I have more of the attention on Instagram stories when I play out when I upload something to the stories rather than have a picture. So, yeah, it's interesting, when you're a content creator and you're trying to reach a goal in life, like whether you want to become an artist or a singer or an actor or a veterinarian or whatever it is, but in the public eye, or not necessarily in the public eye, but well, if you want to be a singer and that kind of stuff, then obviously, yeah, but a veterinarian is not necessarily like that. But like, let's say you want to be a YouTube star, okay, for example. It's interesting to see what works and what doesn't. You know what I mean? Like I always preach on, stay true to yourself. Definitely. You guys know that I have done my absolute best to always try to stay true to myself, to my content, to anybody who views my videos, the audience that I may have or throughout the years. I always try to stay true to myself. And my here I go again, forgetting what I was saying. I just have so many things in my mind that I just completely forget all the time. But it's interesting to see, like when I post pictures on Instagram, I notice that a lot of the people who like my Instagram photos like seeing me rather than seeing the back of me. You know what I mean? Because I just posted, here's an example. I just posted a picture of me from a while back from when I went to the swap meet, and I had army pants on, like camouflage pants on, and a Drake shirt and a hat, and it was just a full body picture of me pretty much. And then I posted the one right after that, which is of my jersey that says made in the 90s, and I had a hoodie on or whatever, but it was the back of me. So I realized, like, yeah, people totally go more for the full body picture or the picture of my face or whatever it can do than anything else. Like, I noticed that a lot of people don't really like when it's not that of me. And, like, it's okay, it's understandable, but it is just something where I ask myself, like, so how can I incorporate things that could get the same amount of interaction and engagement like a picture of me can, but on something else. Like, let's say if I wanted, because I'm going to post a quote one of these days soon. One of these days soon. And it's a quote that I created myself. Like I don't even know. It's like a love quote. I could say, because I did write it, and And so I want to share a lot more of that. And so it was from a picture that I take it. What is wrong with me that I took when I went to my cousin's wedding? And we were at a marina, and I had thought of this, like, I just wrote, like, from the heart of what I was feeling in that moment. And I mean, it's nothing crazy, okay, so don't get too excited, but it really resonated with where I was at that time. And so I took a picture of the marina, and I put my quote on top of it, and you'll see it if you, follow me on Instagram. And I don't know, I just think, like, I would love for that to get the same kind of engagement as a picture of me, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just hard to explain. It's hard to explain because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you can't. I don't really know if I'm even speaking in words that could possibly really relate to anyone, or if that's just my own thoughts. You know what I mean? But I mean, I can see it in a way that you can relate because, for example, like if you post a picture of your dog, like maybe you don't really get as much engagement than you would that if you posted a picture of you and your girlfriend, you know what I mean? I don't know. But anyways, that's enough of that whole content talk about whatever the heck I'm talking about. But yeah, so I did get sad, and that's the whole reason why I decided to put it on YouTube, because again, putting it on YouTube is where a lot more that know of me go to first to see, or that's like the one place that they would go to for sure, to see if I have any videos or any content, right? Because nobody really knows about me being on Anchor, because this is so new, because I just started. Nobody really knows about where my podcast is going to be until I start being able to distribute it in different places, because some people might only be able to have Google Music Play or Apple Podcasts, you know what I mean? So anyways, it's a start. It's a challenge, it's an obstacle, but I'm getting through it, and I'm reminding myself that no matter what, eventually one day it won't be 3 plays and it'll be 50 all of a sudden in one day, you know what I mean? Like when I first started doing podcasts way back when, 4 years ago, or would it be 3 years ago? No, it'd be 4 years ago. I don't remember. But when I first started doing it, after I had come out of the closet and I was back on to doing videos and stuff, I started a podcast, and it was amazing. I got tons and tons and tons of downloads. I had people asking me to keep doing them. I had people asking me why I hadn't uploaded one, and that was like the greatest feeling. And so I want to get back to that, because that's something I lost, that's something that I lost and I miss. And it's just a great feeling when somebody really like just takes the time to just be like, hey, is everything okay? When are you going to put up a new video? Like, we totally miss it. Or like, I miss watching you, or I miss your videos, or, you know what I mean? It's good. It's good to, it's nice to feel that. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel wanted, and it makes your content wanted. It makes you feel like your content is wanted, and like it makes them feel good, and it's almost like a drug, but like a healthy drug. Like that's probably not possible, but like it's like a vitamin. Let's say that it's like an addicting vitamin that your body just craves, and you just want more of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when a YouTuber has that much, like, how would I say this in words? Like, they're such good YouTuber, like they create good videos, and like, or you just feel like that connection, like they're my friend, like, excuse me, like in reality, obviously you guys aren't friends, but excuse me, why am I burping so much? But then, maybe you're not physically in real life friends, but you feel that connection of like, oh yeah, you feel accompanied. But when they're like, we haven't uploaded in a couple of days, you're just like, oh man, like, I miss them. Like, you feel lonely in a way. It's I don't know. If you've ever felt that way, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It could be, it's the same kind of feeling. Well, no, not, I shouldn't say that. It's not the same kind of feeling, but it's a kind of feeling where you're like, you miss hanging out with your best friend or your girlfriend or your mom or your dad. You know what I mean? Like, like it's missing, obviously. I mean, why would I say that? That sounds so silly. See, I have all these like thoughts, and then I'm just kind of like, really, why? I don't even understand why you even said that. It doesn't even freaking make sense. But like, it's, and so like, I don't know. I'm just having a little moment today where I just feel a little bummed out, and I just feel discouraged. But nonetheless, no matter what, I'm going to continue to edit today, and I'm going to continue to do what I got to do, because this upcoming Friday, which I don't know what day it's going to be for you, but this next week, that's coming up, I am going to have a lot of work, so I am going to be super busy, and I'm not going to have time to really crack down on videos and stuff. So I'm trying to stock up and schedule and stuff, and hopefully get through this, and hopefully I'll be able to do podcasts. I mean, I know I can make time for it, and I'm planning to do that. I just don't know how well I will be able to deliver on it, because when I do get this every summer I do edit for this school, I do get a lot of work. And so I want to just dedicate all of it. And I'm the kind of like, I have that kind of like work ethic for me. Like, once I start something, I want to go all the way through with it and finish it. Especially, like editing. When I'm editing a video, I want to get through it. I want to start it and I want to finish it. I don't want to just leave it halfway, because then since I'm very distracted, I can stop editing and then go back and be like, okay, well, first I was in this mode and then I got out of it, and now I have to try to get myself back into this mode. But I mean, it's not that hard. It's just something where I would rather just edit all the way through, finish it, and then take a break and then restart on the next scene or something, But like, I just, that's just me. Like, I just love to have something that I'm working on, finish it, and then get on to the next thing. So I don't know. I'm going to figure out how to do it. But, I know when I do edit these things, I do get a little stressed out, but it's worth it. It's so worth it, because, it's just, I'm just thankful that I even have this job, this project, these scenes that I have to edit and stuff. Like, it's very helpful. And so I am excited, because it's fun to see the new students every year that create these videos and all that. And yeah, and recently it was really cool, because with the same school, they had a student film festival, and I was able to edit 2 short films, and it was really, really cool. And I got this, I was working with someone who came, well, it was a group of students, obviously, but the director, or I think he was a writer, I'm not so sure. I think he did I think he was the producer and the writer and the director and the cinematographer. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know. But anyways, it was he was the main person that I spoke to, and he had come from Rome, Italy, and he had just gone to LA, I'm assuming. I don't know. I don't know the story. I just know he told me that. He's like, I just came here from Rome to LA. And mind you, I didn't talk to any of the directors or what have you. I literally just got the stuff, and any notes that they sent or whatever it could have been, and I got to work. I finished the first scene. I finished the first short film, which was really funny. It was really cool. I liked that one. It was fun to edit. And then I got onto this guy's project, and I had no idea exactly what his vision was. I only had words from what was written on the paper, so I had to go out and create what I wanted to create, or create to my best ability to what I figured or I thought or read about his vision would be with that short film. So I got to it, and at first it was really hard, because I was like, I don't know if this is where it's headed. I was very confused, because there was just like so much going on that I just didn't know what was first and what wasn't. So I had to go in, and this is a whole bunch of gibberish, but it's a lot of like organizing and all that stuff. And so a lot of things were out of I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, point is, I ended up finishing the video. It was 11 minutes of a short film. I sent it to him because he called me, like we finally got to talk over the phone because he had said, I would love to have a conversation with you or just talk to you about it, and let you ask me any questions if you don't understand something clearly. So on the day that it was due, he called me because I couldn't get through to him. I don't know, and he had a number from Italy, and I don't have the ability to call out of the States with my cell phone or anything like that. I know we live in the 2018s now. But I still don't. I mean, I don't have that on my phone because I never make calls out. But anyway, so he called me and he, talked to me a little bit, and he said, is there any way that I could see the film before? And I said, yeah, of course. I sent it to him. And mind you, I had to turn this in by 3 p.m. And this was like around, I don't even remember. It was early on in the morning. I think maybe like 10 or 11. I don't know. I had finished the other one. I was pretty much, all the editing the rough cut, right? Like I finished the rough cut, and then now it was time to put in whatever else I needed to do, just clean it up and titles and all that. So I talked to him and I sent it to him. Fast forward, he saw it, he loved it. That's when I had finished it, right? He loved it. And I was so happy. I literally wanted to cry. I was so happy because the gratitude that I would hear in his voice, like he was so thankful. And it was just such a kind, I don't know. It was just a moment where I was so happy because that is exactly why I fell in love with editing in the first place, because you can create emotions in human beings. You can manipulate these emotions, to cause them to either cry or be happy or laugh or, whatever it could be. Like, that's exactly why I fell in love with editing, because you can create a story, a visual story. And there's so many ways, like with editing, I'm sorry if this is not interesting to you, but just hear me out. If you have like a scene, right, you can edit that same scene using sound effects and sound design and everything to make it a very sad scene. You can give it a sad tone, you give it a happy tone, you can give it an evil tone. And that's what I love, that you can really take one thing and create it into 50 different things. And this is why I also fell so in love with YouTube and the fact that I can create videos and post them up. You know what I mean? I love that. I love creating. And before this, I wanted to be a feature film editor. That's the whole reason why I went to film school, because that's what I wanted to do. If I didn't, it was between going to film school or becoming a coroner, or like going into, crime scene investigating and all that. Like, that's what I wanted to do. But I was just like, there was something about editing that just kept calling my name. And so it all started in 8th grade. Like, that's a very long time. And even before that, before 8th grade, I started creating videos on my little shitty computer that I would have. And I just loved it. I loved it. And even before that, when I was young, like young, like my best friend and I at the time would grab her dad's video camera and we would make stupid little videos, just fun stuff. And like, I loved that stuff. I was just so into it. I loved it. I loved creating. I was so creative as a kid. I was so freaking creative. And so all of that just followed through with me and throughout the years. And so anyways, but I was saying the whole feature film thing, because now it's like, yeah, like that would be cool, but with being able to create my own content, being able to write it if I needed to write it, I don't write or script any of my stuff because I can't, because then I just sound like a robot, and I don't like to sound like a robot because then it's not genuine for me. You know what I mean? So I'm better at speaking from the heart and just not being scripted. Like, yes, sometimes I'll have bullet points that I want to remind myself to talk about, but I can't. I just can't be scripted. I can't do it because that's probably why I'm not an actor and why I'm not good at it. But being able to write if need be, being able to direct myself or whatever it could be, or the scene that I'm dealing with, being able to film it by myself, being able to edit it and add effects and sound design and whatever it is that I need to do, being able to do all of that myself and have full control over it is such a fucking amazing feeling. Like, that is one thing that I don't know, that just can't sum up to anything else. You know what I mean? Like if I wanted to do a feature film, like, yes, I would love to, like, it would be great, it would be awesome, and I would definitely be happy, but at least I know that at the end of the day I would still be somebody would still have control over it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there are many instances when you do have the liberty to do what you want, and then the director will be like, yeah, have full control over the edit, or full creative control, and then we'll get together and then we'll fix things. That's still cool. I'm totally down with that too. But I just love the fact that I can create whatever the heck I want and be in full control of it. I think that is absolutely amazing and wonderful, and it makes me happy. And that's the whole reason. And I always say that's the whole reason. I'm just so passionate. I'm just like, that's the whole reason. But like, there's many reasons, but that's one of the many reasons why I adore being able to put up content on YouTube and just creating things left and right. You know what I mean? I've always had a passion for it, and being able to work on your passion, even when you don't make money, even when you don't get anything out of it. That's like, that somebody could say like, oh, you can do that for a living. Like, it's amazing. Like, I would rather make passion, like my passion grow, or just have the passion and be working on my passion every single day, doing the things that I love to do and not make any money, than to be at a 9 to 5 where I would be fucking miserable, but be making money. You know what I mean? And not have time to do what I want to do. I would pick this over that any day, because I know that one day, if I keep on doing what I do, and I keep on working on what I truly believe in, and have that passion, and I am happy, I'm going to get to the point where I will be able to do it for the living. Yeah, for the living, but like for a living, I will be able to do that for a living, and it's gonna be amazing. You know what I mean? But that stuff comes with time. And I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. So, I try my best not to take that for granted. There have been many times when I have. I'm not gonna lie. There have been many times where I have just put off doing videos for like 2-3 months, but it was a lesson learned, because if it's the same thing that they say for that phrase. What is it? I just had it in my mind. What is it? Out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? If you're not posting videos, you're just giving other people the chance to continue to like rise above, excuse me, while you're, falling behind. And you know what I mean? Like, don't think for a second that you're not replaceable, because you are. You know what I mean? So if you don't put your work out, especially if you're just starting out, I mean, if you're established, of course, like, you will always have those loyal supporters that will follow you no matter what. They will find you if they can't find you. They will look for you. They will always be there by your side. But a lot of people will forget you if you just don't show your face anymore. You know what I mean? And like, the same happened with my videos. Like, a lot of people fell off because we already spoke about that. People just didn't like where I was taking my channel, or the things that I didn't want to show anymore, or things I wanted to keep private. They fell off and they didn't like that. But then there was others who just forgot about me because they hadn't seen any of my stuff for a very long time, and so they fell off as well, and they forgot about me. And there's other people that, and then the whole algorithm thing doesn't help. But that's where I really have to kick ass and just do more. And in saying all of this, I really do hope that you guys hear my struggles and what I'm going through currently, and what I have gone through, and the stuff that is still relevant and going on, and what will go on. And then you hear my motivation, and then you hear my own encouragement, and then it makes you want to do the same with whatever it is that you may be going through, for whatever it is, doesn't matter. I just hope that hearing me inspires you to keep going, to not give up, to just keep going. And once you reach that goal, keep going after that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like some people would be like, girl, ain't nobody want to hear your problems, but I know people want to. I know that hearing somebody that you like to just hear talk, or just a friend, or whoever it can be, somebody you find admirable, somebody that you find inspirational, somebody that you find motivating, somebody that you find encouraging, whoever it can be, your role model, whatever it is, hearing them go through something that you're going through is fucking powerful. It is so powerful, because now you have created a bond that is you relating to them. The bond of relating. That's what I should have said. The bond of relating. You have created the bond of being able to relate. And that is powerful. Because now you understand that you're not the only one. You're not alone. You have somebody going through this. It's empowering to see somebody go through a struggle and see how the hell they got through it, or a challenge or an obstacle. I have to list all those out because it's just, I have to, because it could be very different for each person, but because what I might see as a struggle, you might see as an obstacle. You know what I mean? So anyways, so it's empowering because now you're just like, you really have that moment where you're like, if they can do it, I can do it too. You know what I mean? Like, it's incredible. And it's what a lot of us need. We do need that little uplift. You know what I mean? We need to feel uplifted. We need to feel like we are not alone for a lot of things, because that's just how we are as human beings. Sometimes we just need the reassurance, and to hear somebody who you look up to, or to hear somebody who you consider as a friend, or just like their content, period, to hear them going through that and overcoming it and how they went through it. And it might even help you. It might even give you an idea of something that you've been asking yourself, like, well, how the hell do I get through this? And then hearing them, you hear it from them, and you're like, oh, I'm going to try that. And then it works for you. And then you're like, oh my goodness, like, this is so freaking amazing. Like, that is what I'm saying. It's empowering, and to empower others is it's even more of an empowering feeling. It's such an incredible feeling, and I love that. And I love that I could be saying something right now, and then I'll get a message that says, wow, like, I really love this. Like, thank you so much. I really needed to hear this. You know how fucking amazing that is? It is so great, and it makes me so happy. And again, I'm just another human being. I'm just an ordinary person. But I know, and I'm very well aware, that if I can share whatever I may go through with you, you might have that chance where you're like, I can get through it too, because Stacy got through it. You know, I know how empowering it is. And so that's why I do it. Not only is it beneficial for me because I at least get all of this out of all of my feelings, and I sort them out by just talking about them. But it also helps you. It helps the next person. Maybe you're not going through anything right now that you could say is really truly a struggle, but down the road you will, and you'll be able to carry whatever I just said with you now up until that point. And when that time comes, then you're just like, I have the necessary armor, the weapons to get through this, because I remember when Stacy was going through this, or whoever else it might be that you're thinking of went through this, and I'm going to fight this head on. So, yep, all in all, I am discouraged. I'm feeling a lot better now that I got all this off my chest. But I know that it's not meant to stay this way for long. I know that eventually, things are going to kick off, and more individuals are going to hear about my podcast. People that don't even follow me, people that don't even know who the heck I am, but they're going to come across it, and then they're going to like it, and then they're going to be, an avid listener of my podcast, and that's going to be great. And then everybody who hasn't heard that Stacy's doing a podcast are definitely going to, come over to whichever platform they want to listen to it on, and then they're going to, know that I have a podcast and hear it, and that's to be awesome. But if you are going through something and you feel a little impatient, I'm feeling a little impatient, trust and impatience. And I think in the moments that we are the most impatient is when we have to really, really work on it and be the most patient. When we feel the most impatient, it's time to switch that to patience, and know that in good time everything will come, all in good time. And that's currently what I'm feeling, and I know that it's not here to last forever, but I don't know. I'm still going. You know what I mean? Like, I'm discouraged, but all I know is that I have to keep going, and I'm still going. And I know soon enough something will stick, something will break out, and it's gonna be amazing. And I'm gonna be able to reach a kabajillion more eyes and ears, more than I may have throughout these years. And so, yeah, I'm still on this journey, and I want to do so much. I do, but I'll leave that for another podcast, talking about all the things that I really want to do. I just know that I have a I have this anxiousness, this anxiety to just want to do so much more because I have all of these ideas, but where I'm at right now in life, I just can't bring those to reality to reality just now. I'm unable to, but I know one day that will all change and I will be able to. So with that being said, if you're discouraged, know that we all start from zero. We got to start somewhere, and it's better to start now than it is contemplating about it and hoping that it doesn't turn out that way and not wanting it to be that way, because it is definitely where everybody starts from, and we can't really, we can cheat our way out of it, but you don't want to do that, just stay true, and the struggle, the work, it's worth it. It's worth it, But, yeah. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Thank you so much for coming on over here, wherever it is that you're listening to it. Thank you so much for taking a little bit out of your day to just go click and press play and listen to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you have sent me a DM saying, that you really like this or you enjoyed it, or a comment or whatever it can be, thank you so much. Hopefully by this time I have replied to you. I'm trying my best to do better at replying and all of that stuff, but I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for taking time out of your day. It really does, really, really, really does mean so much to me. I know I say that so much, but I am just so incredibly thankful and grateful that I at least have you who has taken the time to do so. So thank you so much. And remember, if there is one thing that I want to call to mind, there are actually 3. No matter the highs, the lows, always be certain to do good, be grateful, and stay humble. Bye.